What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Dadbot FM, and we are back with you with another tactic tester. Now, this tactic was described by the guy who made it as the perfect balance between attack and defense. It is the snake Total Football Manager 23. Does it live up to the hype that he's given it? Well, let's find out. Now, as always, we have tried this tactic with three teams, and we've used three different teams today. We've gone with Manchester United, Atletico Madrid, and Juventus. So, as you can see here, we are trialling it with three different teams than we normally do, just for a bit of variety. How do we get on with United, though? Let's have a look. We finished a disappointing 9th in the league. Won 16, drew 11, and lost 11. Pretty average. We got knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Europa League by Roma, lost the quarterfinals of the FA Cup to Southampton, and we were knocked out of the third round of the Carabao, which honestly, that's nobody's really bothered about. Let's have a look at the squad performance then. Now, one thing you did say is your left striker will become a goal machine, and in this instance with Man United, it was Martial who bagged 21 goals. He was supported pretty well by Fernandes from attacking midfield on the right as well. Not quite a winger, but to the right side of that attacking midfield central section. 19 goals and 13 assists for the Portuguese man. And Anthony, 11 goals, 10 assists off the bench, which all in all, it looks pretty good. But when we look at the data hub, it doesn't excel really apart from non-penalty goals. It's pretty poor, as you can see, and it doesn't really deliver anything. If we move over to Juventus, then what we can see here is, again, competitions-wise, we finished 5th, which is better. 22 wins with this one, 4 draws of 12 defeats. We were knocked out in the group stages of the Champions League and lost in the quarterfinals to Inter Milan of the Italian Cup. And again, if we look at the striker, got 26 goals, and you two attacking midfielders, one who was a left winger and one who was a central right on the right hand side of the central, which was Di Maria and Chiesa respectively. They got 10 goals, 10 assists, well, Di Maria did, and Chiesa got 12 goals, 8 assists. Nobody else really kind of chipping in for Juventus. The data hub for these guys, goals per game massively higher, but our tackling percentage was lower, which shows actually the balance between attack and defence with the Italians wasn't as good, and our passing percentage slightly higher as well, which, you know, isn't terrible. Moving over to Spain then with Atletico Madrid. We finished 5th. Now, that is a massive underperformance. You can see there, if we go to the competitions page, finished 5th, 17 wins, 10 draws, 11 defeats. 17 goal difference is pretty respectable. 61 points. Real Madrid always run away with La Liga on this year's game, especially in the first season. Champions League, knocked out in the group stages, and we lost in the Spanish round, Spanish fourth cup. We lost in the 4th round of the Spanish Cup. I'll just put my teeth back in because I've completely tongue-tied myself there. So what we're going to look at in-game is when we played Leicester with Manchester United. Now, we did win this game 2-1, but we're going to look at what was good defensively, or bad defensively, as we will obviously be looking at that goal, and how it worked when we were on the attack. And on the attack, you're going to see where the tactic comes into its own. Because it's an asymmetrical tactic, it means that players don't get picked up by your normal symmetrical 4-2-3-1s, etc., because players are in unusual positions and they're harder to mark. And you will see that with the first goal that we look at. So if we just roll this on, you can see here, Tete is on the ball. Now, what I don't like is Daka there has actually been able to run straight through. You know, there is a big issue there with Daka. He's not, you know, Maguire here should be narrower. You've got Lindelof here as well, who I would have tucked in. I think if you're going to play 3 centre-backs, what you have to have is a narrow. You've got to trap them outside, and they didn't do this with this tactic. And if we roll it on, Daka scores quite an easy goal. He's actually unchallenged, and De Gea stands no chance. However, if we roll it on just a little bit, this is the build-up to our goal. Now, if I just stop it here, you can see how unorganised our team looks in that one. You've got your 3 centre-backs, and our midfield is strange to look at. We have Bruno Fernandes, who you would think would be in the centre circle, out on the right wing. Weghorst is kind of playing as a second striker almost, who has drifted on to the left-sided centre-back. And then you've got the midfield here, Casemiro, Eriksen, and they are all very bunched together and not really offering a lot on the ball. But this is where the asymmetrical tactic works, because it means, if we stop it there is always one of those midfielders free, and that is because you've only got 2 Leicester players in the vicinity, which means they can't close him down to the degree that they need to. So we roll that on. Maguire plays it into Eriksen, who straight away, while he gets closed down, Casemiro has drifted off, and Casemiro is then free. And again, it just works in that if you want to keep the ball and you want to build possession, you can. Casemiro here, Martial has drifted. Now, I mentioned it before. Martial, if we just roll that back slightly to, let me not get too far. So Martial here has drifted left. He's not stayed central. Now, what's going to happen here is your 2 centre-backs are still central. They haven't been allowed to go out and stay with him. And your right-back is going to come in to try and close him down. And by doing that, Rashford has space to attack down the line and on the box. Now, what is key here is Martial, Weghorst and Fernandes have all got to get into the box. That will mean it's a really good opportunity. And if we just roll it on, you'll see Weghorst and Fernandes make a real beeline to get on that 6-yard line, whereas Martial here is available for the cutback. If he wants to roll it through, through the gap between the 2 defenders, he can. However, Weghorst makes a really good run to the near post and taps it in to make it 1-1. It's a good goal. Now, if we look at the second one and we look at how we start, again, Lindelof is forced to bring the ball out. He's got Fernandes, Martial and Rashford are far left. Weghorst playing central. Our midfield, again, is pretty much a straight line where you've got Eriksen, Casemiro in here. Casemiro, when Lindelof goes forward, will look to cover that centre-back space as well, which is really important. The big thing here is that run from Weghorst. And again, I've mentioned it on the last goal. Just look at where number 9 is, Martial. Because Weghorst has gone central, it means Martial is unmarked. It means Martial has tons and tons and tons of space, which is why he has got so many goals. It's why every striker using this tactic has got so many goals. I can't express how important that is. Weghorst is going to lay it into Martial, and Martial's going to score, and it's 2-1. That's how important that is. Now, I mentioned before this is an asymmetrical tactic. Let me explain what the asymmetrical tactic is. The asymmetrical tactic is designed that your player will constantly have time and space. So what you have is 3 at the back, 3 midfielders, and essentially 4 attackers. Now, Weghorst is your central man. As you saw in every one of those highlights, Weghorst is standing centrally. Normally, if you play 2 strikers, traditionally you'll have them like that. Now, the problem you have with this is that they both stay in the central area and they both get kind of swallowed up by the centre-backs. By putting him, if he'll go back for me, there he is. By putting him there, it means that your left-sided striker drifts off into the fullback. Now, the fullback then has a choice to make. Does he mark the winger or does he mark the striker? And the 2 centre-backs are constantly taken up with your target forward. So let's have a look at how the tactic works. You've got a goalkeeper, 3 ball-playing defenders, who have all got this, you've got these 2 guys with stay wider on. That is taken off on the central. You then have a defensive midfielder with defend, who's going to stay wider again, tackle harder and mark tighter. So the key thing for here is that this defensive midfielder is going to essentially be playing in this area. Really, really important because you haven't got fullbacks. Next to him, you have a ball-winning midfielder. So they're going to run with the ball, and they're going to stay wider as well because, again, they're going to be working here in this area. And then you have your advanced playmaker. So in the Man United situation, this one here is Christian Eriksen. He is the one who's going to be pinging it out. On the left, you have your winger, and then you have a shadow striker, which for us was Bruno Fernandes, which again is stay wider. Although he's not a right winger to get marked by the fullback, he's going to sit in between the centre-back and the fullback again. Loads of space, loads of time, able to pick those passes. So in the positions which are unusual, you want your most creative players. You want the players who have got, can pick a pass, can pull something out of the bag to get a chance. Up front in the middle, you have a target forward, and he is literally just a support mechanism for your advanced forward. Now, your advanced forward is your goal machine. The advanced forward is the one who gets all of the goals. If I just bring the United team back up with a best 11, for some reason it's not. Let's go with last one. Can I do there? No, I can't. Okay, let's go to... So, where is Lindelof? Has he gone out of the squad now? There he is. No. So, Martial got 21 goals from that position, as we said. Fernandes got 19 goals in this one here. Again, unbelievable player. Having Sabitzer in the midfield with Casemiro being able to play here, and if you look already, you've got such good chemistry here. You've got really good chemistry here as well, which is so important. I really can't stress just how how real key that is to this tactic. Let's have a quick look at the teams now. Mentality is set to balance. There is a reason for that. If you go positive, you're going to leave more gaps. If you go defensive, you're not going to create as much. The problem you have is it's quite leaky at the back. I would maybe even go cautious with it. I think you've got so many attackers on that you can, but it's personal preference. In possession, then, we're going to stay really wide, which is what we saw. You know, the wingers, the left winger hugs the touchline, and the attacking right centre midfielder is drifting into that position just on the corner of the penalty box, playing out of defence with shorter passing at a higher tempo, and we're going to waste a bit of time, which is rare to see in a tactic. We are letting players be expressive, and we're hitting early crosses. In transition, we're going to regroup, and then when we win the ball, we're going to counter, and we're going to slow the pace down when the goalkeeper gets it. We really want to allow our players to let the other team set, and then we'll drift into the holes that they leave. And out of possession, it's going to be a much higher line. We're really going to press them from the front. Surprising when you see this here, that we then regroup, because those two, for me, are counterintuitive. If you're going to have a high line, you're going to counter press. Otherwise, maybe drop that back just a tad. But again, personal preference. Preventing short goalkeeper distribution, and getting stuck in as well. It's probably going to result in a lot of cards. Bear that in mind. Please bear that in mind. The tactic is good. I like the setup, and I like the way your players find space. My issue is that defensively it's quite leaky. I mean, if we look at De Gea, for example, just bring him up. 52 games, he conceded 79 goals. Now, that could be because we're playing as Manchester United, and obviously they haven't been great in recent years. But again, if we go to Juventus and we go to Szczesny, he conceded 65 in 44, only kept 9 clean sheets. And again, if we go to Atletico Madrid, they've got Jan Oblak, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. He conceded 57. You know, that kind of tells you how leaky it is, which is why I'd go cautious, especially as you're looking to counter-attack. You don't need to worry too much. All in all, though, it's not a bad tactic. You know, I'd probably give it a 6.5 out of 10 if it was me, and it's something I consider using. Download it, though. The link is in the bio, so let me know what you think of it. And remember, hit subscribe, hit those thumbs up, because, you guys are the reason I do the content. And if you want me to test a tactic, drop me a message on Twitter. It's @PaulH188, and I'll be able to give your tactic a go. I'll see you all soon, guys. Hope you enjoy it. Remember, I'm streaming on Twitch as well every Friday and Saturday night from 10 p.m, and I'll see you all there. Have a good one, guys.